The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Alongside Jamie Lent, I'm Chois Woodman in for Chuck today. Y'all can continue to hit us up on the Yates Flooring Center chat line, and plenty of you have. This one says, Kitley's going to be a huge loss. I don't know why people didn't like him. Top 10 offense, 123rd defense, but offense was the problem. Another one says, I guess Kitley haters can celebrate today by burning couches and overturning cars on Broadway the way they acted on here. Okay. Another one says, 3 thoughts. 1, KP to Texas Tech defense.
I heard somebody tell me last night that they thought he would want to come back.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be opposed to it.
I wouldn't either.
Let's see. Sonny to Texas Tech offense. And 3, pay Hudson money to a new offensive line. Okay. Here's the 3 thoughts.
Yes, I'm the third one. I'm the most
in on.
Take Hudson's money and turn it into an offensive line.
I'm not opposed to it. The Sonny to Tech offense, I love Sonny Cumbie. I absolutely love him as a person. I was not as a huge fan of his offense in general. It wouldn't make me mad if he became your offensive coordinator.
You don't want to make Chois Woodman mad.
Yeah. He hadn't been fired, has he?
I don't think so.
I'm looking at I
think we all just assumed he was going to.
I'm looking at the list. Again, it's not as easy to fire people nowadays in the world of... I think you're going to see less and less coaching overturn with revenue sharing and those sorts of things, because these big coaching contracts are going to... Schools can't afford to pay coaches not to coach and to pay players. Like, not everybody. Definitely schools outside of the Big Ten and SEC. I should probably say that.
Well, and a school like Louisiana Tech probably doesn't just have the money to just waste.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just don't think you're going to see a whole lot more coaching changes like we've seen in recent history, especially moving forward beyond next year. That being said, no, I don't believe that Sonny Cumbie is. It does not. No, he's not fired at this moment. So, and I think they played better later in the season, so maybe he did some help to save his job.
You would think if they were going to make a move, they would have already done it.
Yeah, most of these things happen on Sunday or Monday,
unless they're waiting for signing day.
Possible. But usually you don't see that with a head coach.
Right.
When it comes to Hudson, I feel like he was as good as projected. If he was as good as projected, that if word matters, he would have played more.
I would completely agree with that.
I'm not saying that he wasn't going to be as good as projected.
Right. He just wasn't ready at this point.
That's that's my entire approach. If he was ready, coaches aren't, out there committing career suicide. They're not out there trying to ruin their jobs. If Micah Hudson was supposed to be a huge helper to help you win games, like Micah Hudson was worth 0 wins to you this year. It's not like adding him out there is going to go win some football games for you. He had 8 catches for 123 yards, and the argument to that is, well, if he would have played more, he would have had more. Maybe. I mean, he would have had some more, but is he going to outproduce what you got out of Caleb Douglas? Is he going to outproduce what you got out of Josh Kelly? Is he going to outproduce what you got out of Coy Aiken? My personal answer is no to all 3, based off of what we saw.
Yeah.
Is his future brighter than some of those guys? Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Might be. Mm-hmm. But in the moment, he was not ready to go help you win games this season. And you can blame it on coaching if you want. You can blame it on injury, not going through the spring, all of the above. It's a hodgepodge of reasons.
I choose to blame it on the rain.
All right, Millie. I like it. Someone says, I am happy about Hudson leaving. I am happy about Hudson leaving, so we don't have to hear about a single player above the team all season. Tired of hearing his name being spoken without one touchdown in front of it. Okay. The writing on the wall, and Kitley headed for the hills after the defensive coordinator was not retained. Okay. Dear Chuck, how are you? I am fine. Sometimes our wishes come through attrition. Let's face it, we've seen these coaching moves happen before our own very eyes before with other teams. When teams struggle, the head coach makes moves to save his job. Next, it will be the head coach on the chopping block. Remember after Mac Brown won a natty at Texas, the shine wore off. That's from Gordo. Well, Gordo, that was how many years after Mac Brown won a natty? 4?
I don't know.
5?
I'm anxious for us to have that struggle.
That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
Dealing with life after winning a national title.
It'd be a wonderful thing. And
I don't
think the head coach is on the chopping block, so to speak, right now.
While there are plenty of coaches that over the years have fired a coordinator to kind of in desperation, hey, we got to do something, we got to make a change, blah, blah, blah,
stuff.
or I'm going to get fired the next year.
Yeah.
Yes, that's accurate. But there are as many and probably way, 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 way more successful coaches that say, I want to be better on the offensive side of the ball, the defensive side of the ball, that have the 100% backing of their administration and their fan base, and they make moves to get better. So while your statement is true, yes, it has happened, and yes, coaches do that, there's way more on the contrary that do it because they just want to upgrade. So don't just ignore that.
Yes.
I don't think Joey Maguire is on the chopping block by any stretch of the imagination
No.
or is desperate that he fired DeRuiter or he was going to get fired. I don't think that at all. I think he realized you were poor on defense and he wants to get better.
Yep. Agree with everything Jamie said there. Leah says that Cumbie was extended yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did make an announcement there. Thank you, Leah. Nice. More coming up next. Jeff has this day in sports history on Double T 97.3.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
It's the Morning Drive on Double T 97.3. Double T973.com. We'll return some more of your thoughts coming up shortly and some coordinator options for Texas Tech. But right now, we kick it over to Jeff McGuire for this day in sports history.
I mention this every year because it's one of my favorite things that happens in sports on occasion. And there's like 3 instances where it's happened all around the same time. 1944, temporary merger of 2 NFL teams took place. The Pittsburgh Steelers and Chicago Cardinals dissolves at the finish of the season. World War II ends before the start of the 45 season, so both teams could resume normal operations. They combined because of guys going off to fight, Nazis and the Japanese in World War II. They didn't have the players to field 2 teams, so they combined the 2 together for a short period of time, and when everybody got back, they went back to their corners. We're going to keep going and do our part and continue playing football, but we're going to work together for a change. I like that. 1950, Cleveland Browns last NFL team with a no-pass game. They beat Philadelphia 13-7. 1956, basketball icon Wilt Chamberlain makes his much-anticipated varsity debut, scores 52 points and grabs 31 rebounds, breaking both the all-time Kansas records in a 87-69 win against Northwestern. 1968, Major League Baseball Rules Committee adopts a series of changes designated to increase the amount of offensive run production. And they decrease the strike zone size and lower the height of the pitcher's mound from 15 inches to 10 inches. Those changes were successful. There was a lot more offense next season.
What year did you say that was?
68.
68.
1988, the 54th Heisman Trophy was awarded to?
88 would have been Barry Sanders.
That is correct. Running back.
Well done, Choice.
Out of Oklahoma State.
Well, I used to have a co-host that, told me about that guy. I can guess who it was.
Zach Logsdon.
Yeah, that one.
1995, Davis Cup tennis. Jamie, you're going to have to help me out a little bit here. Pete Sampras beats Russian Yevgeny Kalinnikov.
Kafelnikov.
That one.
Yeah.
See, I told him I needed help.
You went like Porky Pig in the middle of that.
I did.
Too.
6-2, 6-4, 7-6 to give U.S. a winning 3-1 lead and 3-2 for their record 31st U.S. title in the Davis Cup. There were like letters that you don't see them together very often in those. Oh boy.
Yeah.
And in 2020, I put this on here more for the conversation that it reminds us of, as opposed to being a Fun Red Raider event. The Big 12 Big East battle matchup between Texas Tech and St. John's was canceled today in 2020 due to coronavirus concerns from St. John's University.
I still never paid up on that game either.
Red Storm administration announced its decision to cancel the game, which was scheduled to be played on Thanksgiving at the United Supermarkets Arena here in Lubbock.
That was when politics played in and what state you were in and those sorts of things.
And they didn't want to come here.
Yeah. New York didn't want to come to Texas.
I don't know why this is the food today.
I did.
Well, yeah, but we adopted you.
Yeah. You're the exception to the rule.
So, I don't know why this is the food today. This feels like it's way off base, like it should have been weeks ago. Happy National Green Bean Casserole Day.
It feels like it should have been a week ago, like during normal Thanksgiving time. Oh. It is kind of odd timing.
We have a...
I had the last of it yesterday.
I was about to say, how long is too long for leftovers?
Yeah, I had stopped for like 3 days, so I agreed to eat it again last night.
Did all the crunchies on top go soft?
You know, the can has more crunchies in it.
It was soft, but I mean, I'm talking about the Thanksgiving leftovers as
all
a
of
whole.
it.
Yeah, I think Thursday and Friday, then I was done.
Okay.
So Saturday and Sunday I had a break from Thanksgiving leftovers, but then I agreed to eat it last night. Like, all right, and it was partly because I just want the refrigerator to get cleaned out.
Yes. I'm with you. We threw the remainder of the turkey out yesterday.
Yes, I will eat it one more time.
Sorry, Jeff.
Make it be gone. Old turkey fillet guy over there.
I have one more meal left. Very
Good luck.
happy. We got a birthday in the building today. They are on this radio station.
Hey, what's up, Rob Bro?
Not Rob Bro.
Dang it. Clint Scott.
That's the birthday boy
It was
today.
one of the two.
Turning 32.
32. I did not realize how young Zach Kitley was until yesterday, too.
33. Yeah, youngest in the country, right? Head coach.
I think so.
Youngest head coach in the country.
I did. That is where I truly start feeling old, when I am older than people like that. Did not realize it.
Other celebrity birthdays that he shares a birthday with: Ozzy Osbourne, 76. Jenna Dawn, is 44. She is the love interest on The Rookie. Brendan Fraser, 56, and Julianne Moore is 64.
Which The Rookie?
The TV show.
Okay. It's the baseball movie's superior, but
it's different.
I've never watched.
I don't know.
I've never watched the TV show. Wasn't there also a different movie, The Rookie, with Clint Eastwood?
Wait, is it Clint Eastwood or is it?
I can't remember.
I can see it.
Yes, it was Clint Eastwood.
Okay.
1990.
And on this day, 1947, Marlon Brando's famous cry of Stella first boomed across a Broadway stage, electrifying the audiences at the Ethel Barrymore Theater during the first ever performance of Tennessee Williams' play, A Streetcar Named Desire. And that would be this day in sports history.
Y'all don't forget to join us 2 days from now out at Two Docks.
Money, 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 money.
You can have Jamie. I heard this was actually all Jamie's money they're giving away, like they do with Pat McAfee's on College Game Day.
Yeah, so we're giving away
$2,500.
quarter and a nickel.
Oh, okay. Maybe not all of Jamie's money.
Yeah.
$2,500 is what you can get in on winning on Thursday night at Two Docks. We've teamed up with our friends at the Home Zone to give away this cash, and you can have a great chance at it, or just come hang out, have a good time, drink a Buddy Hoppy or Raiderland Red or whatever they got going out there, and you can.
And if you're very, very lucky, you may get the prized autographed Chuck Heinz business card.
That's a possibility too. Back to the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Let's go, Lady Raiders, someone says. All right.
Yes.
Yes, that is tonight. Lady Raiders and Stephen F. Austin. Viva73 says, I'll be surprised if Rodriguez returns to Texas Tech next year. His wife stationed in Fort Riley. That's less than 20 miles from Manhattan, Kansas. Just a thought and a prediction. I know.
Oh, gosh.
I hate that.
Don't do that.
It's true. I mean, she just got moved, too. She's been in Alabama this whole time. Why couldn't she just stay there and he'd go play for Alabama?
Yeah.
If he's going to go anywhere.
No.
I hope he goes to the draft, if anything, because that's a pretty darn good football player. I don't know what his measurables are going to be in terms of draftability.
Man, that would be the most worthy transfer portal move ever.
To follow your wife, who's in the armed forces.
Yes.
And she's a Black Hawk helicopter pilot,
She's
too.
awesome. She's so much fun. She comes and chats with us at Optimum Game Day Live, and we've had a good time chatting with her. She's great
amazing.
people. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
And she's the definition of bad A.
Yep. But you're right. That would be the most worthy. I hope it doesn't happen. I would hate to see him at Kansas State, but if there was a move that was worthy of happening,
the NCAA would find a way to block it somehow. It just seems like it makes way too much sense.
I know. Yeah. This is Morning Drive. Get into coordinators possibilities next on Double T 97.3.
This is the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Bring in your thoughts, your comments, your questions, your wishes for new offensive or defensive coordinator on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through that through the Double T 97.3 mobile app. A couple of people saying the rookie was Dennis Quaid, I think. I was not talking about that rookie.
That's the good one.
Yeah, the rookie movie, there was a cop movie back in the early 90s.
And isn't there a cop show called The Rookie?
Called The Rookie, yes. Yeah, that's what Jeff was originally talking about.
That's the one the chick is on. That is the love interest. She plays a firefighter.
Someone says, wonder if we could go get Jeff Traylor. I doubt it. The whole hiring head coach is away. I guess that's what they're talking about.
I don't even know what Traylor is, if he's an offensive guy or defensive guy.
I got to be honest, I don't know either.
I wouldn't think he's coming here as a coordinator.
Yep. Would be very surprised at that. Some names on the offensive list. There's quite a few, including the guy you just got fired. I've seen Neil Brown's name floated around. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's impossible. I don't know how quick he's ready to get back in the game. Sometimes coaches sit for a year after they get fired. And that might be the case for him because he just got a $9.5 million buyout.
Good for him.
So if he wants to hang out for a year and then decide what to do, would totally understand that. Other names out there, we'll start with the ones people are going to throw out with former Red Raiders. Seth Dagey is your offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach at Marshall currently. Mm-hmm. There will be some interest there. Marshall did pretty well this year. Finished about 32 points per game and 380 yards per game. So not great, not terrible. Graham Harrell's a name that will get thrown around. He got fired recently at Purdue, but everybody did horrible at that spot. Harrell was at Washington State. He's been at North Texas. He spent, one season at West Virginia, I believe it was? Or was it 2?
Only one? It feels like it was more than one.
Maybe it was 2. But went on to Purdue and got let go there. So those are names that are going to be floated around. You mentioned this one earlier, but Brennan Marion is the offensive coordinator at UNLV. They are the number 29 overall total offense this year and 7 scoring offense, so ahead of where Texas Tech was this year. But they are a very fast-paced, up-tempo offense, which we have not seen.
Which is not what Joey McGuire probably want.
Right. We've heard him talk about trying to make the offense and defense work in tandem. But the last 2 weeks, you saw the up-tempo pace. And maybe we see more of that. Maybe you do go get a guy that does the fast-paced thing because there was success. Now, you don't base everything off of 2 weeks, but last week was the example of, hey, it can be done with still playing defense. There's a possibility there without necessarily wearing out your defense. I think the thought for defensive guys when it comes to tempo offenses is just the overall snaps you're putting on your defense for a year.
Sure.
Because there's a lot more snaps that go into a game when you have...
So your numbers are never going to look good. It's a bigger challenge.
And potential for more injuries.
Okay.
So, and if you don't have a lot of depth, then that, as we've seen, can really wear down a defense. But that's one. People have floated out Jake Spavital, who was a really popular name for a long time. He spent a couple of years at West Virginia. He spent times at A&M back with Cliff Kingsbury.
And he's at Baylor now, correct?
He's been at Baylor for 1 season and seems to have done some pretty good things in 1 year at Baylor. At least from Lubbock, Texas on, the Bears found their offense. Sawyer Robertson had something to do with that, too.
Yeah. Can he be ROC, Sawyer?
Sawyer? So I would doubt you make that kind of lateral move after 1 successful season. But I don't know. Sometimes people have different motives. Another one that people have mentioned, another one I've seen on different lists is Casey Woods, the current offensive coordinator at SMU. But I don't know why you leave that spot currently. Unless you just don't have investment or what, but it seems like it's a pretty easy place to recruit to right now.
You would think so, yeah.
They're currently in the college football playoff if it were to be played right now.
Yeah, they got themselves into a Power 4 conference.
So I'm not certain why you would make a lateral move there, but again, don't know everybody's motives and how that goes. So those are some names. Anybody I left off that you would want?
Nobody's really jumped out at me. I've seen the list like you've seen, and I think on both sides there's plenty of intriguing guys. I would love one that's I would love one that's done it before at the Power 4 level, if at all possible.
So you don't want Rick Bowie at Abilene Christian?
I just, that feels like a big jump to me. Okay.
Yeah.
Even the UNLV guy, it feels like he's done really good things there, but he's doing it at a different level.
Yeah.
So I would rather have a guy that came from a Power 4 that's done it there before, but it doesn't have to be a former Red Raider or anything like that for me.
Racer 26, giving a little man helping man, got a 2-wheeler playing laser tag on 98th between Indiana and University. I like that wording. A 2-wheeler playing laser tag.
Laser tag.
It's unique. Someone says, I've heard Friendship defensive coordinator is a done deal. We'll be at Tech by next week. I think you could use a lot of other options. out there. Numbers aren't going to look great for that, but
Speaking of up-tempo offenses that score in a hurry,
and don't
put a little extra pressure on their defense.
Oh, no doubt. I want a fundamentally sound defensive coordinator. Nothing flashy. Just be in the correct position, and do your job. If that isn't whoever we pick to priority in the interview, it's the wrong guy. Okay. Someone says, "What about Kevin Curtis?" I believe he's still at Baylor, right?
I think so. Yeah.
I don't know. To me, it's dangerous, and sometimes there's high risk, high reward with these kind of things. But to me, it's dangerous to hire a guy who hasn't called plays before.
Yeah.
You can get a co-defensive coordinator that hasn't called plays, and it gets dangerous. You can get a position coach that seems to be the up-and-coming guy, might be a brilliant mind. They have to get their break somewhere, but usually they don't get broken in at the Power 5 level for their first time calling plays. That goes on the offensive or defensive side. So I'm not saying I would hate it or anything. It just can be a high-risk, sometimes high-reward thing. All right, more from you on the Yates Flooring Center chat line, but coming up next, it will be Jamie's Question of the Day. It's the Morning Drive on Double T 97.3.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's Question of the Day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
Okay, so this is kind of an odd question, but I'm going to ask it.
Okay.
When it comes to bowl games, what is the most important thing for you? Is it A, the date, B, the location, or C, the matchup? And I know we all want to pick the highest level bowl, right? I get that.
Yeah.
Okay. But what is the most important? Because some people want to, it can't be early. You want it after Christmas to show you're in a better bowl, whatever. They get bent out of shape about that. Some people don't like getting it over with early, right? Some people are all about, I want to play the biggest name team. That's what matters to me.
Are we going like selfishness here, or are we going best what we want for Texas Tech, or both?
I don't want you to make it specific to I want to go watch a movie on Monday. I'd like it not to be on Monday.
Well,
okay?
I mean, because I've got four kids, and if we're having to work,
let's not make it rule number one involved.
Okay.
And
it doesn't. I'm saying, like, I got four kids, and I really don't want to have to work.
He would like it to be 4 days after Christmas as opposed to 2 days after Christmas.
I don't want to travel on Christmas Day if I don't have to. So there are selfish reasons.
But that can be legit as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. Yeah. Well, but just the whole overarching question, I would say matchup is number one. I mean, there are places that are. So you said matchup, location, and what was your third one? Or
time. Like date.
If I'm going from what I want to see for Texas Tech every year, it's matchup number one. Date is last. I mean, the whole December 16th thing last year was weird, having a bowl game that early.
I mean, obviously it meant that you were playing in not a great bowl game. At the same time, I loved having it over with early. And we got to enjoy the rest of bowl season.
Yeah,
with the thought in the back of your mind, we got a dub.
From a selfish standpoint, yes, I loved that, and I don't want to see one on the 26th this year. So there are selfish motives for date. That's probably number one on that. But for Texas Tech, it's matchup, because when you're talking about attractiveness, location matters too. Like, I'd much rather be or fans have an opportunity to go to Orlando, and I think players would much rather have an opportunity to go to Orlando over going back to Amon G. Carter Stadium. Though some would probably like getting to be around family and those sorts of things. But Matchup. If you want eyeballs on your game, if you want eyeballs on your program, playing against an LSU versus playing against a Navy, worlds of difference there. Or playing against Arkansas instead of Rutgers. There's huge differences there. I'm just going through some projections out there. So I think the matchup's number one.
All right, Jeff.
What was the small city you mentioned? White Dove? No, White
Pigeon, Michigan. Yeah.
It's definitely about the opponent. I'm sure White Pigeon has a field somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
If Texas Tech was playing A&M in a bowl game there, that place would be packed with Red Raider fans wanting to see that game. There is a field somewhere they could draw the line. There's 100 yards somewhere they could make a field.
Okay.
In White Pigeon, wherever it is. So the location, in theory, it would be second in this list. But it's about the opponent, and I want it to be. I don't want to play Army and Air Force in a bowl game. I'm tired of rooting against them. We do that enough in baseball, or have done it enough in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to play a team that isn't interested in being there because it makes an uninteresting game. I want an interesting game that you feel like you got something out of if you get the win. Now, there's always the factor of who wants to be there more, and did somebody fall to the bowl as opposed to you rise to the bowl, and I get all of that. But get me somebody excited to play.
Okay, I think if we were putting them in order,
Yeah.
I think location would be number 11. I think date would be number 12. And I think opponent would be top 10. All 10 of them.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just trying to emphasize the fact that
I think falling asleep over there.
Yeah, I just want to emphasize the fact that I
all
think
about
the
opponent
opponent is the most important thing.
Well, that's what
like
we
Jeff
remember
said,
more, right?
And like Jeff said, if you are, playing a good opponent with a good name, I think the fan base is excited. I think the team is excited. Okay, and so I don't have a problem playing against teams that don't want to be there. I'm totally good with that. I'm good
okay
with us going to blow somebody out for our final game of the year. I'm totally good with that. So I just think it's so important for both of. I think when you have a big name team or an SEC team, you're going to have a team that's more motivated here. I think it's an easier job for Coach McGuire, whoever the head coach is, to get his guys up to play.
Yeah.
And I think the same goes with the fan base. I think they're more interested. And if you're playing, we've heard the possibilities of playing like a Texas State or something like that.
Yeah.
I just feel like that works against you.
Absolutely it does.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much question. And I think
they're going to be the one that's more excited to be there. And so...
Well, think back to our best bowl memories over the last 20 years. Most of the time, it's because of the opponent. It's not because you played in Orlando or because you played in Dallas or wherever. It's
because you came from 100 down in the second half.
That one kind of stands alone, which was an amazing game. Yeah. But, think about you beat Clemson 55-15. You remember that? It wasn't about the atmosphere at the Tangerine Bowl. You beat
Cal,
who was
Bowl.
number 4 in the country.
Yeah.
So you remember that. You remember beating Ole Miss because they're an SEC team. You beat Mike Leach in Mississippi State. The opponent, I'm with you. Just it matters so much more the who than the where. But I do think the where matters a little bit.
For the record, White Pigeon has a junior and a senior high school, so I guess they have a football field we could play at the Aggies.
All right, they probably do.
Let's go. Red Raiders, Aggies from Michigan. It's the Morning Drive on Double T 97.3.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Happy to be part of your Tuesday. It is the Morning Drive on Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com. Double T 97.3 mobile app brought to you by Happy State Bank and watchable on television, Fox 34 News Now. However, wherever you're joining us from, we are glad that you've chosen to make us part of your Tuesday. Jamie Lent sits to my right. I'm Chois Woodman. Got Jeff McGuire across the way taking care of us. Y'all continue to hit us up. Your thoughts, your comments, your questions, your wish list for coordinators, both offensive and defensive. If you missed the news yesterday, Zach Kitley hired at Florida Atlantic University as their next head coach. Had a lot of wish lists on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. We'll continue to go through some names. We have bowl projections coming up a little bit later this hour. But whatever you want to get in, do so on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through the Double T 97.3 mobile app, which you can carry anywhere with you, even listen in out in Plain City, Utah.
Okay.
Seems to fit.
Mm-hmm.
But, Jamie, I did promise this. Things we're supposed to look forward to in the month of December. I know you're dying to get to this.
Okay.
At least that the internet tells us we're supposed to look forward to. You know, so December, Jamie, in December, we obviously have bowl games. Okay.
That's definitely one thing.
The first bowl games start on the 14th this year. Is it getting earlier and earlier?
That's next Saturday, right?
That is next Saturday.
Yeah.
We have games as early as the 14th. The Cricket Celebration Bowl. It's a real thing. But also have the IS4S Salute to Veterans Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Which you'll hear on our airwaves.
Which was, what was that one before? We've had four bowl games change names. That one's in Montgomery, Alabama, so I don't remember what that one was. We had the Frisco Bowl. Anyway, lots of bowl games going on. Also supposed to look forward to NBA Cup tournament. It runs through December 17th.
I refuse.
You're going to abstain, huh?
Yep, I'm going to refuse to looking forward to that.
In theaters, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 comes out.
That sounds more entertaining.
Mufasa, the Lion King.
That seems great.
Are you going to watch that?
Yeah, it looks really good. I won't go to the theaters.
That opens on December
for that.
20th. The what would you say?
I'm way too cheap to go to theaters. I mean, it'll be out on a streaming service soon.
Well, you can still get like a $5.75 ticket. Are you not into the senior tickets yet? That was a mean shot. That was unwarranted. Jamie's been throwing fat jokes at
How
me.
much? When?
Just over the weeks. There's been some heavy-legged jokes and those sorts of things.
That is not true. That is not true. Maybe
debatable.
Maybe the furry jokes.
Okay.
You're confusing the guy you're sitting with the guy you're sitting in for.
Fair enough. My bad.
He's the one.
Okay, so Chuck's old, not Jamie. I don't know. Some other movies. Baby Girl with Nicole Kidman. Bob Dylan movie. All right.
That looks okay.
I'm not a Bob Dylan fan, but for people that are, I'm sure that would be good. Mm-hmm. I think it's called A Complete Unknown. Lots of things on TV. There's the National Christmas Tree Lighting on December 20th. Why is it so late? Nate Bargatze's new stand-up thing hits Netflix on the 24th.
There's a lot of Christmas / this time of year traditions that are delayed because of how late Thanksgiving was.
Okay. Squid Games, the season 2 lands on the 26th. Did you ever get into that?
No.
It's pretty dark.
Yeah.
And then, of course, all the holidays going on. So, including today, that is Giving Tuesday.
All right.
If you're into that. There is Answer the Phone Like Buddy the Elf on the 18th, if you want to participate in that.
How does he answer it?
Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color? Francisco. That's fun to say. Okay, so lots of people on the chat line. Someone says next year is doomed. Okay. Not ready to just give up on next year, but...
Well, I guess,
I don't know if that's coordinator related or personnel related or what. You're losing a lot of things, pieces, people. I guess they would be people, not things. You're losing Taj Brooks. That's massive. I hope you don't lose Jacob Rodriguez, but you could lose Jacob Rodriguez. He walked on senior day, but Coach McGuire tells them if there's any chance you could leave, walk on senior day. Mm-hmm.
He would rather honor you twice than not honor you at all.
Correct. You're losing Caleb Rogers, offensive lineman. You got a lot of offensive line you need to replace. You're losing. Help me out. What other personnel? Josh Kelly.
Two coordinators.
Josh Kelly's huge. Two coordinators. So
yeah, I think Josh Kelly is massive.
But hopefully you can go replicate what you did. Go get not necessarily another Josh Kelly, but another like his production out of the portal.
Or the guys that you have also can step up a little bit.
Sure. I think you still have to add one receiver.
Yeah, probably so.
But yeah, but you've got some really good talent coming up. I know people are going to be like, oh, well, Micah Hudson's gone. I'll tell you, Kelby Valson, 4-star receiver that we saw at the end of the year. Didn't see much of him, but they are very high on him. And there's a true freshman named Tyson Turner that is fantastic. So they may not have 5 stars next to their name, but you're going to have some pretty talented receivers from recent classes. So, yeah, I'm not ready to sit here and say next year is doomed.
I am not either.
But
I don't feel that way at all.
Yeah, I don't either. Especially the conference you play in right now. Feels like it's wide open. And I don't think there's any change next year where you look at it and say, well, this was your year. You got no shot next year because this team's going to be better or this team feels pretty wide open for the taking. All right,
well, you're Scattaboo.
I believe senior, but I don't know if he's a super senior or how all that works.
Yeah.
So let's get rid of him. Go to the league. Running backs don't last long enough, even if you got a year of eligibility, Cam, you got to go to the league. Brady Boyd also in the portal now, someone says. So, yeah. Jake Strong went in last night or yesterday. So we'll continue to see names trickle, and we say in. It doesn't officially open, but people announcing that they're going to go to the portal.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.